Yeah, so welcome everybody. Just to make sure you guys are in the right session, this is for Parsons College of Art and Design, and we have Marlon here today who's going to be sharing a little bit more about the school. I am going to make sure you have screen share privileges. Let's see. Okay, so whenever you're ready, feel free to get started.
All right. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Marlon. I'm an assistant director of admission for Parsons School of Design at the New School in New York. And I'm trying to find a way to elegantly transition to screen sharing. But I think I maybe did it. Did I do it? Do you guys see my screen? Awesome. Okay. So let's get started. There's a lot to get through and not a lot of time to get through it. So we'll just kind of rock and roll. The New School is not a new school. We've been around since 1919. The New School is actually comprised of Parsons School of Design, the Eugene Lang College of Liberal Arts, the College of Performing Arts, and those are three are undergraduate programs, and then the New School for Social Research, the Schools of Public Engagement, and our graduate programs. Parsons has an extension program in Paris. You can spend your whole entire 4-year experience there if you'd like to, or you can spend your whole entire 4-year experience in New York if you'd like to. We're going to talk about all of that. But we're all one university. So many folks might recognize or have connections to the New School from many of those different pathways. We're going to talk about Parsons a lot today because that's, the art and design school at the New School. It's also the biggest portion of the New School, but know that those other elements are all there and available for you. And lots of students like to have the opportunity to explore and major in interdisciplinary areas because of that. So currently in New York, we have about 10,000 students who go to the New York campus, students from all 50 states, 134 countries. We have the highest ratio of international to domestic students of any university in the United States. So we are the most international university in the United States in terms of ratio of students. But that is, the caveat is that we only have 10,000 students on campus. So, if you're going to a school that has like 50,000 students, they might technically have more international students because they just have more students. But in terms of your class experience, about a third of that population will be from not the US. The New School was founded by a bunch of faculty members from Columbia University and other Ivy League colleges in and around New York in 1919 who all quit their jobs all at once, essentially to start a new school that was available to anyone who wanted an education in New York City at the time. There was a lot of folks who were coming back from the First World War who were wanting to kind of pursue an education, but who already had families and children and jobs. And so the New School was one of the first places in the United States where you could get that kind of continuing education, go to school at nights and on weekends and that sort of thing. Parsons School of Design, however, is a little bit different. Parsons School of Design actually started as Chase School of Design in 1896, and actually is older than the New School, much older than the New School. It's the first independent art and design school in the country, and then joined the New School in the 1970s. These are the list of all of the majors that are available for students at the New School. There's the Liberal Arts College majors on the left here. On the right, you'll see the opportunities for the students in performing arts. There's 2 drama schools and so 2 music schools and a drama school. And then right smack dab in the middle, you'll see all of the options for Parsons: architectural design, communication design, design history and practice, fashion, fine arts, illustration, integrated design, interior design, photography, product design, strategic design and management, and fabulously undeclared, which is not something that we had previous to that. So if you were just like, hey, I'm an artist, I know it deep down in my heart, that's fine. We can figure it out together once you get here. Know that at Parsons Paris, we have a limited number of majors that are available to us. Only art, media, and technology, fashion design, and strategic design and management are going to be offered there. And just real quick, because I know it's not very clear, strategic design and management is a business degree that is fit into our liberal arts college, and that's to fit into our art and design school. It's really focused on the business end of the creative industry. So many people who are really interested in maybe potentially fashion marketing or merchandising or something like that end up in that area. But this is a picture of an actual factual classroom at the Eugene Lang College of Liberal Arts. Prior to the pandemic, we typically only had about 10 or 12 people in a room at a time. Our average class size is around 12, and so you really will have a pretty one-on-one experience with your faculty members. Something that you should know about the New School in general, what you should know about Lang, is that we're going to give you a ton of freedom in your curriculum, right? So that at no point, we are a full university program, but at no point in time are you ever going to be required to go to like the math department to take a math class, or the science department to take a science class. We try to embed all of your academic core requirements into the core requirements for your program, so that you're really spending time focused on what you want and really have the opportunity to explore beyond that. Moving on to the College of Performing Arts and Parsons School of Design. There's about 5,000 students that go to Parsons School of Design in New York. Fashion is our most popular major, but then that's quickly followed up by photography and that strategic design management major as well. We've got incredible opportunities for our students to sort of explore beyond their disciplines, but also sort of really kind of connect with New York City as well, which is something we're really excited about. There's only about 300 students at Parsons Paris as opposed to the 10,000 students in New York. So it's a much different experience, but know that you can definitely, again, spend your whole 4 years there. This is kind of a rundown of what the first year looks like at Parsons in New York. On the left here, you'll see integrative seminar and studio classes, sustainable systems classes, really about how to develop artwork that exists in and has been generated in a sustainable way. You'll also take an objects as history class, more space, materiality, drawing, and imaging courses, which really kind of build your actual kind of art making technique. The integrative seminar and studio classes are really about building your conceptual development, kind of figuring out how strong your ideas can be and how to kind of explore those through your art making. So a lot will happen in your first year. Notice that there's only one elective at the end of your first year, right? So that's the only class you get to choose in your first year, but know that years 2 through 4 are really going to be an opportunity for you to kind of choose your own adventure. The BA, BFA pathway is an opportunity for you to get a master's and an undergraduate degree. We've got a program with our bachelor's of architecture where students are able to sort of spend 6 years with us and graduate with a master's in architecture. There are about 50 plus minors on campus. So many students love to pair whatever they're studying, maybe photography with creative entrepreneurship. Hey, I want to start a business, or immersive storytelling with fashion studies. Hey, I want to kind of reorient the way that fashion shows are taking place and that sort of thing. Beyond our connection with Paris, we definitely do have study away opportunities. Beyond that, obviously they're not available to our students right now, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking to them talking about that. But once once the world reopens, we totally can. This here is a picture of the University Center. This is the heart of the New York City campus. Right on 14th Street and 5th Avenue. This is the greenest academic building in the United States. It's Gold LEED certified. Students will have classroom spaces and studio spaces on the bottom floors and the top floors. That top portion is also residence halls for some of our students as well. On the left, you'll see a little map with red dots. That is the new school's footprint. So those 4 or so blocks right around Union Square in New York City is where we are. We're fully integrated into New York. So you exit the new school center here, the student center here, and you walk down 1 block. You're going to pass, a puppy daycare and an apartment complex and a shopping center, and then you'll get to our performing arts building. But literally, it's only 1 block away. So these are some more images from the inside of our facilities. And this is images from our making center. We've got a motion capture studio with a green screen. We've got dozens of 3D printers, this really incredible $20,000 Japanese loom, and tons of other materials for our students to sort of play with and work with. Know that no matter what your major is, you have access to all of these materials, all of these spaces. You'll get orientations to use all of this. And we really want to make sure that that's something that you can kind of get, have an idea, make it happen, and put it to work there. So that's kind of generally kind of what the new school is about. I know that we only have about 4 minutes left. Are we sort of like mapping out time for questions, or?
We don't have a particular structure, so feel free to continue. If you guys have questions, feel free to pop them in the chat and we can get to them. Maybe we can save 2 or 3 minutes for questions, and then they can contact you directly.
Awesome, good stuff. So we'll continue on. We've got over 4,000 square feet of exhibition space. We've got performance spaces. This right here is This right here is Tishman Auditorium. It is the largest performance space in Lower Manhattan. That guy right there is Gnarls, the Narwhal. He is our mascot. I'm trying to figure out how to get the participant's title away. There we go. This is an example of some of the work that we do in partnership with New York City. We worked with the Parks Department, took over 2 parking spots and made them an urban, a physical urban park with renewable materials, which is something that we're really, really proud of. Our students do that and redo that every single year. We've got on-campus dining as well as on-campus housing, about 4 residence halls that are available to our students. Especially if you're living in New York, you're not from New York, we definitely recommend living in the residence halls, but it's not required by any means. So definitely something that you can definitely take advantage of. We had students students take over 1,200 internships last year. That's kind of our average number of internships for our students at really incredible places. Kate Spade, Google, the American Museum of Natural History, the Apple, Cooper Hewitt, the list goes on and on. This is just one of the highlights of one of our students' work. Angela here graduated as a fashion design student, and she graduated kind of during the height of the Syrian refugee crisis and worked to develop these incredible garments that actually turn from jackets into sleeping bags into tents, specifically for displaced folks. As we're kind of seeing the effects of climate change take over the globe, we're going to continue to see lots and lots of folks in spaces that are displaced and who need to be on the move. And so these kinds of solutions-based design thinking is really sort of what we're on about as an institution. Also, just another really cool highlight, this is a partnership between our performing arts students and our design technology students. They built in sensors into her costume that light up all of the projection design live while she was playing the piano, which is incredibly fun. We give our students, small grants to make that happen, especially sort of in interdisciplinary kind of collaboration spaces. So know that that's definitely something that we really are looking forward to as well. Tuition, this is really important. Super expensive, right? So tuition is between $48,000 and $50,000 a year. Tuition for Parsons Paris is a lot less. It's $34,000 a year. Housing is about $21,000 a year. These are astronomically high numbers, but don't worry. I like to say it ain't over till the financial aid lady sings, and I really mean it. For us, we want you to submit a really strong application, a really strong portfolio. By applying to the new school, you are applying automatically to all the scholarship aid that you might be eligible for. When you're admitted, you'll know what that scholarship amount is, and then 2 to 3 weeks later, whatever need-based aid you qualify for, we'll add on top of that. In terms of the application process, we want you to submit a portfolio, 8 to 12 pieces of work. We want to see all kind of visual media, right? Sculpture, printmaking, drawing, video, animation, sound, whatever. We want to see all of that. We want to see personal work, no matter what it is your major is. And then we ask you to do something called the Parsons Challenge. The Parsons Challenge is where you make one brand new piece based on one of the pieces that you already submitted in your portfolio. You'll have something, you'll have like a 500-word essay that you can write about it, kind of share kind of what that experience is, and go from there. This is an example of a student's Parsons Challenge work. Here on the left was the original piece. At the top there is the process document that she submitted, which is a little video. And on the bottom there is the final piece. So you can really sort of see the arc of where she had her idea, what she ended up doing, and how she ended up setting up that photograph, and then the final moment there. So know that in addition to the portfolio, all we require beyond that is the Common App. We are a test optional school. So if you like your SAT, or if you don't like your SAT or ACT, or if you didn't take it, it doesn't matter to us. And then know that you can definitely feel free to connect with us on a lot of different levels. Email us at newschool.edu, admission, or Think Parsons to set up a portfolio review. We'll look through your art with you to kind of talk with you a little bit more about that, even beyond this moment, right? So we're hopefully going to be interacting with you a little bit later in February, I think, in order to get some portfolio reviews up. But beyond that, throughout the school year, we're happy to do that as well. So that's basically the whole entire thing. Thank you guys so much.
Marlon, this was amazing. Thank you for all this great information. And who doesn't want to go to art school in Paris?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, really amazing. I was really interested also in the challenge too. So you guys, we are out of time for this session, but I encourage you to contact Marlon. There's information. This session will also be available to you via the YouTube page. Marlon, thank you for visiting us in our Sun City of El Paso, and hopefully next year we can actually get you physically here in the space.
Yeah, absolutely. I went to college in Texas, so I love Texas, and I'd be happy to be back very, very soon. So
yes.
have fun the rest of the day.
Thank you so much.